I'm pretty tired. And also you see that, like, there's like it's right here. It's like, it's because I just woke up and that's my jawline. This is really weird because there's like, my cheeks go all the way down here because it's cool. We're in a campaign and we're gonna finish this game.
The final piece of the Saga Mata relic is at a heavily fortified location outside Berlin. Your best chance of getting there is by rail. Get to the train terminal and commandeer an engine.
Alright, we're gonna come up with a topic, and it's gonna be non-invasive, hopefully. And mostly about therapy. Alright, I'm gonna put this right here, and then I'm gonna put a dynamite. Okay, so I'm gonna wait till he comes. God damn it. All right, here we go. I think there's a lot of reasons why people do censors on a bunch of stuff, and it's not just because, like, YouTube and a lot of stuff. I understand a lot what they're doing with the reason why they do AdSense and all that other different stuff, and like I just realized that a bunch of people on a certain YouTube part are they're basically freaking thing. Okay, this is what I'm gonna go. And then this side here. It's really cool. I really like freaking shit like that, and I really get it. Like I really get it, because when I was a young kid, I know that a lot of stuff changed my perception on a lot of stuff, and I don't think that if I think that if I saw that, I think that if I didn't see that, then I'd probably be better off. Like, not better off, but like, censorship is a really, like, they say it's a controversial deal and kids should be used to the world that they're in, but they should understand that that stuff actually happens and they don't need to see it all the time. You know, I realized that the stuff that I saw when I was a young kid was kind of like, it was grossly represented, I guess. There was a lot of times where there were a lot of times where people didn't get their they didn't get it, you know. They didn't get the reason why people like hide that stuff sometimes from kids, and realizing that people have to be responsible and realize that they shouldn't try to copy that behavior, I guess. I'm not going to talk about anything messed up or anything like that, but I'm going to talk about it and say that realizing that that stuff happens in the world can be the catalyst to you creating your own world that stuff happens in also. And I don't think that we need to, because the more you start to realize that bad stuff happens or anything like that, the more you start to try to accept that as far as your own lot in life. I mean, there are so many times when I realized that it's not like, it wasn't like a and bad stuff as in like people getting hurt, raped, pillaged, stuff like that, like set on fire, all that other different stuff. People getting like beaten up or shot or anything like that. But I mean, I'm not going to talk about any specific event because I know that I kind of want to. I agree with censoring and with censoring some material, and I agree with it. It's not the South. It's not anything like that. I just agree with it. I mean, I can always work around it. I mean, I have to work harder as an adult to probably want to see some sort of movie that's rated TV or rated what's that, X or something like that, or NA or something like that, or NA or NC-17. I mean, it's not like I see them often, so it's like, so there's that. But also taking into consideration that people seem to lose their ability to cope with their current mood. If they're, yeah, I've noticed that with a whole bunch of different bad stuff happening around the world. I think that kids need to be protected and realize that no, that doesn't have to happen, you know? It's like, no, that stuff doesn't need to happen in order for the world to be the world. That stuff doesn't have to happen, and people can be responsible enough to be able to protect themselves. Understand that that can happen, but not have to see it all the time, you know? Because in order for someone to be able to focus their mind, in order for someone to be able to focus and realize that. This is cartoon violence. Like, it's cartoon. Like, it really is. Like, I've seen so much cartoon violence that serious? Dumbass retard was like 2 feet away from me. He was trying to fucking hit me with something. It's bullshit. Anyways, I've noticed that a lot of times, people can mess with that fact, or people can mess with that sort of understanding of realizing that bad things can go wrong, but you don't have to study every single thing that goes wrong all the time. And I know that there's like bad things that happen, and people get murdered and things like that. I mean, oh man, there's just so many things that people try to cover up and act like they don't happen or anything like that. there are too many ways that I think that people don't realize. And it's like there are people out there that just don't even care about the whole thing, and it's just as bad as white supremacy and all that other different stuff. Not just holding a race over somebody else's, but seeing something that bad that happens to a certain person or a certain thing, and then just writing it off on their taxes and saying that, oh, I'm gonna, or not writing it off on their taxes, writing it off as like oh, they're not even people, you know? It's fine. No, it's like, bad stuff happens, but it's like you don't need to know every single way that something bad can go wrong. But I think that you need to understand that there's every single way that you can train yourself to know or go or have something go right. And people think that there's like, oh my god, all this stuff compounds on top of each other, and then I have to be like a fucking what is it? A staple for rightness and stuff like that. It's like there are people who already do that, and the more people that like kind of work on their own and do their shit on their own are gonna realize that they gotta realize it already. It's like, friggin' hit the button right. There we go. Get a stretch. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Awesome. Okay, restart checkpoint. Okay, here we go. I think there are a lot of times when people look at like you see a difference in what they I see a difference in like what there is in the world. I see like what they think is the difference. understand that, they don't see the difference that they're making. They see the difference that awesome. Yay, finally got that through this part. All I had to do was waste all my grenades and then not get any ammo for the Kar 98. Alright, I'm gonna get my freaking gun back now. Yeah. And, yeah, there we go. Not gonna pick up the Panzer Pass. Focusing is good, and realizing that a lot of times focusing on the task at hand can help you finish it and really go through a number of things. And
the final piece of the Sagamata relic is somewhere in the flak tower. Get it, signal for help, and get out of Germany. You could be humanity's last hope.
The Tower of Hellfire. Final piece of the Sagamata relic. Alright, chilling out, man. Beasting it, that's what I do. This is fake, alright? This is fake. Like, it's this, like, it could happen, but it's fake. If there was some sort of crazy hellfire, whatever, virus, basically, that caused a growth, and then it, like, attached itself onto whatever it is, i.e. the spinal cord or anything like that, and, you know, it really could happen. Like it's like I've realized it. I realized that most of the times things in this they seem plausible. All right, there we go. They seem plausible. Like it's really plausible. It's like it's really crazy, but you know, it's like. Makes a lot of sense to have like a level head in case shit goes awry. You know, like I'm not saying that I'm trained, but that did kind of get me used to realizing that not only are you supposed to realize the things that can go bad, but you're supposed to train a little bit to like a lot to make sure that doesn't happen a lot, you know, or it doesn't happen at all in some cases, you know. Got it. That's the reason why that's the reason why I don't really find computers to be my forte or something. I like gaming and stuff like that, and I would love to make money off of this. It'd be really fun, but I think the biggest part people need to realize is that it's always good to have hand-eye coordination. It's the reason why I play video games in the first place, I guess, because I wanted to realize something really, really cool and have a controller in my hand to be able to like move around and stuff, and like. I realize a lot of times that a lot of times where not only do you want to realize things that have been go bad, you want to realize that you can be there as a catalyst to that not happening. You know, just like you can be there, like respect for your fellow man. Because if they didn't exist, then we have to respect them. But there are a lot of times when I lose my sight of that, or lose my sight of something, and I don't feel as though things are bad. I just know that I could be doing more with myself, and I know that I could be making more of what I really want to do. And I think that it may be a glitch, but I think that Philip DeFranco just got kicked off YouTube on the TV version. Because I looked up Philip DeFranco and his channel didn't come up. He might just be on YouTube, like on YouTube. Like, looked it up. Oh, I saw were comment videos about it. Really crazy, but there's that happens. You talk about fucked up stuff enough, I guess, or when you don't share the same opinions as certain people, or they try to silence you. I mean, and if they're a private company, they have a right to do that because they're a private company, they're not owned by any government subsidiary. I mean, sometimes they're funded by the government, but that has nothing to do with their opinions. And they can do that because it's their freedom. You know, just realizing it. You know. It's like, what's always gotten to me is like every single time you see something like this, like you see like look at this right here, like it's supposed to be further back from the wall than that, because if you notice, like you won't be able to flip it open or anything like that. You just open it up like a little creek, basically, and if you can't, you won't be able to open it up all the way. And I like to see like this. Where's another one? Oh, let's see here. Not everything is really known about the stuff that I think is like really cool. It's like really awesome. Like I've seen like gore and a bunch of different stuff, so I know about like all the stuff that can actually happen. But that's all stuff that can't happen too. Like there's other stuff that can't really happen. Like you're not really gonna like flip up in the air and then kick something. Like Deadpool, if he were to be able to alright, I need to do this. bitch. Alright. Most of the time when I think about what is to be, like what makes a good situation even better, or maybe a bad situation a little bit better, or a little bit, or maybe a lot of it better. Is a good outlook on life, a good solid outlook. I mean, you're not going to appreciate the same things the same way because everyone's different and everyone appreciates things differently. You can't like. There have been a lot of times when I noticed bad things happen in like couples or threes or in groups, I guess. And there have been a lot of times where I noticed a lot of people who like a lot of people who enjoy realizing the same goals but not in the same way. So, oh god. Okay, we're gonna put down the dynamite. And we're gonna wait for it to come through and shoot it. A lot of times people think that, like, they think that there's a what the fuck, I could have done that the entire time. I think most of the time there are a lot of different things that I take for granted as far as oh, I see it. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Hello down there. Amazed you're still alive.
Most of the time when I try to think about stuff, I guess.
I'm looking for a place to land. Keep moving and I'll be in touch.
He's looking for a place to land. Don't have any trip mines. This is the final level. It might be. This is like a freaking trying not to use focus. I saw what focus was, and I thought it was cool a little bit, but it makes the game way too easy. And I like it. go. Got 3 stun granatas. Make sure they come over by this truck, because this truck is probably explodable. The most I think is the staple of this game. Really cool motions, and really cool game. Like, it does show the Nazi symbol, which is probably demonetized. It doesn't show it in every episode, so. Ooh, there's a ring. Bitch. He's such an asshole. Alright. I don't think I'm ever going to use it because there's a door that's going to. Is there something right here? No. Oh, there's another dude that's shooting me. Got him. Oh my god, that's awesome. That's so tight. Right in the freaking ooze. Freaking ooze. Alright, here we go. There were a lot of times back in my day that I wish I wouldn't have looked so far ahead, I guess. And I started getting kind of porno and I think it was the staple of every young boy in the 80s that oh my god, that was awesome. Alright, we're gonna go up here and see if there's any bullets. for us to have, except there's no freaking stairs right there. Oh. Oh, fucking shit. Uh-oh. This means I gotta blow up this friggin' thing again. How dare you? How dare you? And it's safe. Got it. Between the eyes. Oh shit, it's a different one. It's a different one. Little bitches. Oh shit. What the fuck was that? Kind of cool. Safe room door. Happening. Safe room.
I don't know how it looks down there, but it's not looking pretty from up here. Command have kicked off Operation Red Harvest. That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
Alright, I have 4 of everything. Good. And got 160, 100, 80, I'm good. And I don't count the bullets I have in my magazine because it's just stupid to count that. Like, you know you're gonna shoot him. Why would you do that? God damn it. I should have ran out that door. I should have ran and ran and ran and ran and...
That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
What's a Garand? Garand. Garand. It's probably more accurate. Okay, we're gonna put in our stuff. This wall's gonna come down, I think. I think that a lot of times, though, I mean, in my experience, has been the more you look pessimistically at a situation or look pessimistically at a thing, the more that situation goes awry. Like first-hand situations, not finding out that there was a massacre in a certain place or area.
I'll stay in the area as
somehow
long
they
as
just
I can,
don't want
but
it to
you
be.
really need to get a move on.
And the fact is that happens a lot, and more than you would think. And people just are like, "Whoa, what's this dude doing with Nike?" Because I want to keep a positive attitude. And just realizing it's like, okay, I'm gonna get the Thompson. fuck, I was around a corner. That's bullshit. Alright, the shotgun's probably a good thing.
That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
I'll stay in the area as long as I can. It's funny to me. I'll come back down and get the MP40. Shit! Those bastards caught me in there. Gosh. Alright. Keep on keeping on. Keeping on Central. Keeping it on. The keeping it on. I'm at an hour and 4 minutes, and I'm probably going to keep on going like another 30 minutes. It's not fun to do this sometimes, because when I'm playing video games and not live streaming, it's like I don't have to go to the bathroom a lot. But then when I'm on camera and I gotta go to the bathroom, it's like gotta take a 5-minute break, y'all. I'll be right back. Let's see here. I'm not actually gonna go to the bathroom right now, but everything's still harder when you're on camera. Everything's hard. It's like I have emotions and they have to be quelled and things like that. Oh my god. On camera? I mean, what's the dude's name? Freaking Christian Bale lost his mind. And 50 pounds on camera. Like a complete zombie. Didn't even do anything. A lot of people lose their minds on camera. What you have to understand is no one gives a fuck about your stupid problems. That's the funniest thing to me, because they get paid a lot of money and they should probably not so much like talk about stuff like that, like they hate their job or something like that. Like, not only is it bad publicity, but I know people that would do it for so much cheaper. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh, it's got to be this guy and he's got to get millions and millions of dollars because he's good at his craft. It's like, yeah, that's good. Like, when they made up that whole part about them getting awards and stuff like that, it's like, wow, they get awards, and in Hollywood, only in Hollywood. That culture is just it's so uptight to me. That kind of culture it steams like it emits this like I'm all about myself sort of thing. And that, I mean, it might be because I smoke cigarettes, but hey, you know what? I smoke cigarettes because I'm not because I'm a gamer or anything like that, because I need to slow my heart rate because it's football and working out too much and in the hot sun for days on end, and across years of doing things, and and they finally got a thing, and they didn't treat us well. I had to eat salad to be able to maintain my body shape and body size without getting any bone marrow things. It says the dude that I played football with recently hurt himself because of probably a thing that he did when he was in high school football. And I don't know. I mean, I don't get what people think about a bunch of stuff, but I mean, I know people don't think they understand my opinions about football or anything like that, but they don't understand that a lot of people take it so seriously down south. And they're going to have to understand that they're literally watching people die. Like, they're watching people run way too much, overexerting themselves, completely taken out. Yeah. And for example, there are a lot of dudes in track and field back in the day that did not live good lives. They did not live long lives because they didn't take care of themselves. Like, they wind up just not caring, and because of the fact that they have to constantly maintain a body and a money intake that can feed that training regimen, you know. And man, just a bunch of stuff that people don't really take into consideration when actually going out for a sport. They don't realize that, like, impacts can hurt you hard, and you're not taking into fact that like a baseball could fucking like ruin your fucking face. like it could ruin your body. Like, literally, that ball going 120 or 100 to 90, 80 to 100 miles an hour can literally fracture entire pelvises, you know, like, or crack your femur, like it did mine. Not the baseball, but football. And man, there's just so many things that can go wrong, and so many things you have to take into consideration whenever you're actually doing something of any validity. Like, I don't know, people just don't get it, you know. They don't get it. For example, we like criticize our president because he doesn't know how to tweet, or he just really doesn't have like opinions that matter. I'm like, oh, like, they're so right. Like, you don't want to be Republican. It's just like, what the fucking cares, man? Who the fuck does that? Do you care about America? Do you care about anything about freedom? Anything like that? About our freedom? Our brand of freedom? Our kind of freedom? Do you care about people who are in the inner cities that get fucking murdered constantly by their own people, and now they get killed by cops, and then people start to care? That shit's fucked up, man. It's just been happening forever, and people have been killing each other, and nobody gives a fuck but they have an entity to blame now, and it's somehow it's all the cops' fault, and they didn't fucking do it. Like, what the fuck, man? I know this is coming from like, oh, I'm like white or whatever. No, I'm Cuban, Dutch, Irish, Native American, French, German, Jewish, and what's the word? Jewish, Dutch, Irish, French, Native American, German, Jewish, Dutch, French, Native American, German, Jewish, Native on both sides of my family. And no, they're not of all the same origin. Some of them are from Chinese descent, and because of the coastlines that they worked in on. And they had Icelandic and Viking descent too, because Native Americans are of different nationalities too that they don't understand sometimes. Native American, like, it's all of different like mixtures of stuff, and Native American is Chinese and Japanese, and in some cases South European, Eastern European, and Spaniard in Spain. Yeah, like a lot of different people like traveled from a bunch of different places and became Native Americans. And they said the first people to ever come to or colonize or whatever. It's like, no, people came here all the time. It's just they were trying to inform the public, basically. They were trying to inform the public about different things and not let them know about what was going on, but tell them where they were going. It's what companies do all the time. like the whole situation between Christopher Columbus is like, not my Columbus or whatever. Who gives a fuck? It's not even Columbus. There's no Columbus. Like you're acting like the whole country is made up of like it's called Christopher Columbus land. It's not. it's Amerigo Vespucci. He figured out that it wasn't India before Christopher Columbus ever sailed. Like it was like ever sailed. He didn't go. He went after. He started mapping this area and then mapping a whole bunch of different areas when he found out that it wasn't the Indies. It wasn't the Indies, and they were like, phew, oh my gosh, I guess we shouldn't call them Indians because that's the whole reason why you would call them Indians. It's not actually a racial thing. It's just an inconsistency that people let stay there because people are stupid and they like to do stupid shit because they're dumb. All that racism, man. Like, I have to understand, dude. It's just people are killing each other constantly, man, and they still are today, which is really fucked up and dumb. People are just like, oh, gays need to understand that. Who gives a fuck? Well, they don't always have sex with dudes. Okay? There's a bunch of people who don't define themselves by their religion nor their rights to either thing. It's like realizing that between a man and a woman it's sacred because it's the way we were evolved, you know? It's the way we bred. If we bred to be able to do same-sex marriages and have a whole bunch of different stuff, like, I mean, eventually people will evolve to have children like that, but they're just... And there's test tube babies now. There's like kids that can be born without having any parent. They can just be infused with both of the best parts of their DNA. And people are gonna have to understand that that's like our future. We're gonna be born in test tubes and shit. And yeah, that's our future. And anyone that's not cool with that is just gonna fucking die because they're stupid. That's what's gonna happen, man. It's crazy. And the amount of people that actually are cool with that are like there's a lot of people that actually are cool with that. So I mean,
that's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs.
It's the one thing that's not up here.
I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
Say a bunch of curse words. And also this is supposed to be my, that's what I really want to do, is I want to start building furniture. That's what you got to do though, man. You got to find something that you like and something that you want to do and something that maybe you're inspired by someone else doing and come up with your own way of doing it. You know, like, and I'm gonna actually like sand down a bunch of furniture and stuff like that and make a really, really cool either graffiti-esque thing or a freaking, man, just like something that I can see like either graffiti-esque like furniture or like one of a kind painted furniture. That's what I want to do. I want to make a bunch of money at it and just like make like one of a kind furniture and just or not make one kind of it. That's my goal. But I mean, I'm gonna have to start taking from other people's furniture and start seeing how well I can actually make it and taking it apart and putting it back together and a bunch of different other stuff. Realizing your goals is a big deal for me, and realizing that not everyone has the same goals is one of the biggest like things that people need to understand. And I mean, if everyone just kind of got together on something, I think that there will be a lot more. An hour and 20 minutes. We'll keep on going, and
That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
All right, here we go. Gotta keep on going upstairs. Keep on shooting. Yep, all died. I got an idea.
That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
Alright, here we go. I looked over and I saw them, and they're trying to break down that door. But
wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
Alright, I got everything that I need. I'm gonna put down... Let's see here. Let's see if I can go like a strategy or something like that. It's an ashtray. Alright, here we go. That's what I should have done. Fucking shit. Okay, cool. As soon as they stop coming. Alright, here we go.
That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
Here we go. I got it. I know what to do now. First off, son of a bitch. No, you fucker. That's what I have to do as soon as he gets up. Alright.
That's wiping out the entire region with atomic bombs to you and me. I'll stay in the area as long as I can, but you really need to get a move on.
The sweet chin music. Bitches. Got him. Four left. bitch. Shit. Alright, oh god. Oh my gosh, that is fucking insane. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. People fly, it's just cartoon video game violence. Good wholesome violence for cartoons. And oh man, there's just no way that a gun could make someone fly back that far unless they amped it up and grabbed it to where it's unrealistic conditions. And throw grenades and shit. Throw grenades, yay! Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Alright, got 2 checkpoints, because alright, we gotta get back in here now. I know there's something coming. Can feel it burning in the air. Oh no. I've been waiting for this moment. Fucking bitch. God damn it. Armored skeletons and craziness. People are crazy. Also, I mean, I didn't like the fact that my freaking ex-wife, she didn't like country. And she was from there. But I guess she just blamed the people or something like that. Or blamed, you know, or blamed the music from all the people that wronged her in her life, I guess. And the stuff that she used to, I don't know, like, I don't get it, you know? People try so hard to be able to break something apart that they didn't make. It saddens me. Like, every single time they use the same reasoning as a Nazi, basically. But then they seem to use the same reasoning for themselves as a Nazi, basically. As, I'm better than everybody else here. I don't give a shit. And yet every person in the world tries to disprove that because it builds a narrative or some kind. And I'm just like, you guys are fucking stupid. You guys are retarded and dumb. And retarded does not mean, to me, I can say whatever I want to. I can say whatever I want to and make it mean whatever I want it to mean. It was a slang term, and it was meant for people who had been disbarred from going into cities and villages. Or banned from the city, basically. Or banned from a town, basically, or a village. Because they were known as the town idiot, and they dispelled some sort of rumor or something like that, and then they were punished because of something terrible and stupid. And that's why I say retarded. Because if you stop saying the words that make sense as repugnance or dissonance, or distancing yourself from the fact that crazy people, you're just one crazy thought away from becoming exactly like that crazy person if you use the same tactics they do. You're one thought away from becoming a complete and utter pedophile if you don't you're one thought away from becoming a complete and utter pedophile if you don't have children and yet you still like to be around them. Why do you still like to be around them? Why do you still like to be around children? I don't like being around my nieces all the time. They're annoying. I love them. I really do. It doesn't mean I love them any less. I just know that everything they understand is pretty much the stuff that they make up in their own heads, because that's what I used to do when I was a kid. And I hate it now. It's stupid. Why would anyone be attracted to that? It's annoying. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's just admiring something that you think is beauty. And not to say that people can't be beautiful, or children cannot be beautiful, or made up to look very acceptable. I can call my nieces wonderful and amazing and awesome, and still want to not be around them all the time because they get annoying. They have so many different misconceptions about the way the world actually works and the way the world actually is, and there's stuff that they just don't get. Like if you're gonna say that, if you're doing something and it has to be with race, it's like you're creating a narrative that's because of a child being disabled, not being allowed to be gifted. Okay? That's disabled. Not being allowed to be gifted. Why? Because that disability stops him from learning. So he has to be in special ed. And yes, the reason why people are gifted is because they excel in certain things. Because they excel in different things. And not everyone is always in gifted. I didn't get gifted classes because I didn't care enough about my schooling. And then I started to care, and then I realized that I should be caring more often, and I studied every single day since. I study everything. I really do. And I kind of... I realized that younger that I needed to study, and I needed to be able to help myself and realize a certain goal, and to realize that goal, I tried and tried and tried to learn everything I absolutely could. I read every single book, and now I'm fucking out of it and done. I can't anymore, because I've seen so many different things wind up to be just something that someone made up. And I've read so many nonfiction books and so many different people's opinions about what's going on in the world and how it's going on. And, oh, it's such a travesty and all that other different stuff. But if you build it up and build it up and build it up, you give that person who's doing that terrible thing a fucking narrative, like a hardcore narrative. And then they're able to take stage and start wreaking terror on some sort of bullshit. It's just, to me, I don't want people to have too much of a narrative in a certain thing, because it makes me feel like they're controlling my emotions. Like they got me on a heartstring. They got me on a dangly little thing that I basically chew on to have more of an emotion or feel more accepted in society, when I'm not being accepted by that person, because that person's going home at the end of the day, and they're not caring about any person that they talk to. They don't care about those people because they're just trying to inspire them, because they think that will change the world. Understandably so, inspiring people can change the world, but you have to accept each other as like being equals. And if one person's got a narrative and no one else does, then it just makes for not a great conversation. You know, especially when I've commented on all my like idols, people I admire, their commenting, and they've never commented back. Never. They never did. Like they have people that I admire, like people like cosplayers and cool people and awesome stuff, and people who like actually want to do something. It's like, oh, they're so busy. You know what? Yeah, they're busy, but they could do that at their home, twiddling their fucking thumbs, watching whatever the fuck they want to watch. They have a job, don't they? They're supposed to inspire people, aren't they? They're doing a job. That's their job, right? To inspire me, to make me feel like I'm accepted in society, to make me feel like I matter to someone. No, that's not their job. That's a psychologist's job, or psychiatrist's job. Psychiatrist, to make you feel accepted. No one's job is definitely that, because they don't care about when you go home, even though they have your money. They don't care. No one cares. No one cares at all. And that's what I had to accept when I was the youngest kid ever. I had to realize that no personal hero is ever going to do it unless they're actually obligated to do that. Like if they drive a jet or drive something and they like people and stuff like that, then they'll shake hands and have fun, and they go home because they drive a jet. They don't speak on anything like that. Or they pilot a jet. You know, they're like, oh my god, that's really cool. That's their job. It's like they don't say, oh my god, we have to start thinking about a bunch of stuff that's depressing and fucked up. It's like, yeah, you can do that, but I mean, stop avoiding it, people. You know? Don't avoid people. I'm talking to myself too, because I've been known to do this too, because I have social anxiety, and sometimes I can't talk to people sometimes. Like sometimes I really have to be in my room, because I just can't. Like I just can't. Like the amount of time that I've spent talking to someone and doing something, I need that much silence. Or I need that much time to myself to be able to gather my thoughts, to be able to come up with something better, to come up with something more funny, to come up with something more, like, it's a job to me. And I'm not talking to like random strangers or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't expect anyone to actually talk to random strangers or talk to anyone that they think is just, you know, it's good to get this stuff out, no matter if anyone's listening or not. It's good to say this stuff because it's not their job, a person's job, to make you feel like you're more worthy of attention. The fact of interaction, sometimes we just don't get it, like, because we've been taught this whole series of let goes and underwhelming plot theories that just, oh my god, the world's being torn apart by aliens, and there's dude, he's gonna stop it, and then he's gonna be a man, and they're gonna be aliens, and then he's gonna try to make a treaty, but it doesn't work because the aliens are evil, and and then the aliens they make like this, like they're gonna hold his family hostage. The family is gonna be under hostageness, and they're angry. And they're so in hostagey. It's like enough times of doing that, you're just gonna realize that person likes entertaining people and doesn't really like speaking. I mean, they're gonna act all they want to, but I mean, you're gonna know that they're gonna be tired as fuck when they go home because of all the stupid shit that they've endured while they were doing that whole thing, making you laugh or doing anything. Like, man, there's only so much people can do, you know? There's only so many things that people can actually create and make better. And before you realize that, like, that all of it's just bullshit sometimes, you know? It's like all of it is just some sort of movie trope that everyone else does and everyone else says and everyone else echoes, basically. And you have to realize that, like, you got to get out of that stuff, man. You got to get away from there, because I mean, people can't control what you watch, you know? People can't keep trying to control what you watch, you know? I'm not saying that you need to be out there always, constantly having information, constantly knowing information, because your world will go so fast. Every once in a while, just take a moment to yourself. Take time for yourself. Take time to be able to make sure that you know that you're important. And this is my time. I believe that, basically. And that's why I keep that message board open, because if anyone wants to share their time with me, then they can. And not to say that they want to try to be a part of something, because when I was a part of freaking GTA, I didn't really feel like I was being a part of anyone's life or anyone's time. The more I looked at it, the more I realized that people were just trying to get, like, bump offs, basically. And I don't want that, you know? I don't want someone to just bump off of me and try to use me to make themselves look better or something like that. Or try to meet some chick that they already said that they meet with off camera or something. I'm going to run into a lot of those different kinds of things, but only for the sheer statistic of it, but also and realizing that's a generalization, and not everyone wants to make money off of this. So I'm realizing that a lot of times I can't put myself in that category, you know? I can't put myself in the category of YouTuber and all that other different stuff. I mean, there have been times when I didn't even think of myself as a human being. I felt so disconnected and completely cut off from everything and everyone that I didn't even consider myself a part of the human race, basically. I was just so disappointed in everyone. I was disappointed in everything, disappointed in everyone's just need or want to just constantly go after what is completely unascertainable. Like, I can jump high. That's cool. Awesome. I can run fast sometimes when my ankles or my knees aren't hurting me. I can stretch really long. I can lift big weights, you know? But I also know that people need to start taking advantage of this time that we have to just sit and listen to what people have to say sometimes, and not always make fun of it, because you'll start to realize that that's all you do. And you know, just like, and that stops people from, it stops kids, definitely, because I know it stopped me when I got made fun of or got thought of as a certain person, or got thought of as a kid that didn't know what was going on. I realized I needed tenacity, and I had to sit and I had to work on it. I had to work on tenacity. I had to work on what I wanted. I had to work on how I wanted something to be, because all I was going to be met with was just a bunch of naysayers and a bunch of people who thought that I wasn't worth it. And I know I'm worth it now. After therapy, after a whole bunch of different stuff, after people saying that there was some sort of bullshit, and the fact that people really need to start taking care of their fellow human being, and realize that no matter what kind of inconsistencies show up, you need to realize that there's a perfect person inside of you. There's a perfect person inside of you that just desperately waiting to get out, and waiting to be able to forgive people for atrocities, and to be able to let them pay for it. And the realization of the fact is, no matter what you go through as a person, no matter how you go through it, realize that you're not on a pedestal. You're not on a soapbox. Even if you are on a soapbox, everyone is always constantly picking each other apart, and I wish they would be holding each other up, because society would see a difference in what people actually do with that as positive. You'd see not people who are trying to ruin a whole bunch of different people, but you'd see people who don't lose their minds as much. And no matter if they're staying, leaving, going somewhere else, or doing something else, you'd also find that accepting a person for who they are, and realizing what they meant to do, or what they were meaning to do, wasn't something like that. Wasn't something like what happens sometimes. And everyone wants to say the world isn't like that. There's atrocities all the time, and there's bad people, and they want your money, or that's always going to happen. People are always going to want someone else's money, and if they get there, and if they make that stupid law, or they do that stupid thing, or they say that stupid thing that makes you just fly off the handle, what better is your life by flying off the handle? What better is your life by telling that person that they have control over you? That their anger got you pissed off in some way. Because I've lost my temper sometimes, and I mean, even when a child won't go to sleep till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and decides then that they want to yell and scream at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have to spank them until she realizes that she has to go to bed. And I do. I did. So, I mean, or when someone decides that they're going to have a friend or someone that they just decide that they're not going to share with their significant other, or they're not going to tell someone about because it's just not the way that people do that they over here. No, it's the way that people do that. It's the way that people who are emotionally damaged don't do that because they're just, you know, they're emotionally damaged. A lot of women in the South and a lot of men in the South and a lot of men in the North and a lot of people all over the world are emotionally damaged. And they need to understand that before they realize anything. Before they fly off the handle about a bus for not realizing their fare or for not doing something really that needs to be done. They need to realize that they're a human being. Or they're not a human being. Or fake like you're something else. Do something different. Do anything different. Think just like anything. You're a being. You're a carbon-based life form. You know? Just think before you act. Think about something you enjoy and just be like, let it roll off your shoulders. And that's the part that you accept that makes your day a little bit better. Your day, that day that you have. And realize that you had a good day that day. Because of that decision you made to make sure that you're just a person and they're just a person. And whoever they feel like being or who they are, or whether they call themselves the King of Mustard. And now I'm quoting a little bit of Robot Chicken, but I don't even watch Robot Chicken anymore because it all just rolls into the same kind of pie, I guess. And there are jokes that are just recycled and wackiness that's just supposed to be new at the time, and then it's just not anymore because people need to realize that if they're gonna get to know people or get to know anything, they're gonna have to start having friends. They can't just make money and they can't just realize stuff. They have to understand that realizing the positive side of things can get you out of the worst mess in your entire life. Realizing the positive side of something can make you walk off when you need to walk off, when you realize you've had enough and you realize that you've been abused too in that relationship. And no amount of argument and putting someone in the fucking hospital can make up for the fact that you just want to be yourself. And I'm talking to myself right now, but be positive, be better, and understand that things like this are made up to help people cope. Help people cope with all the fucked up stuff that has happened in the world. Video game violence is not the master of all sin or the puppeteer behind the child. The child makes their own decisions. They're responsible enough. The person makes their own decision. They're responsible enough. The company usually makes terrible decisions, but sometimes they make good ones. Because of the terrible world we live in with constant fear and anguish and emotional discord. And the fact that people just really don't like some people. Because they find it to be, they project every ounce of their hate on someone. And when they decide to say a word that they don't like, they decide that that word itself is the thing that they would have always said. And just realize, man, I can always say something like, my grandfather didn't fight in the war, blah, blah, blah. No, my grandfather fought in the war because he wanted to serve his country. He wasn't forced into the draft. He was in the military before the draft was ever enlisted or anything like that. Realizing that you need to be trained sometimes to be able to realize that people have existed in the world before you. But understanding that you can make it better, that you can make it more positive, and realize more things, even no matter how many people get taken out of their seat of power. It's just, there are things in our company, in our lives that we accept that just appall me. And I need to take time to be able to process every single thing, to be able to react to the way that life needs to be. And being in my room sometimes it helps me, no matter if it's messy or clean. It's fucking messy right now. It's so goddamn messy. But just realize that's no bearing on my weight with the world. That's no bearing on my life. I can have a messy room and still be a good person. There was just too much all the time. And she wanted somebody to realize what she went through or how she went through it in my relationship. And I had to realize that she just wanted someone to blame. She wanted someone to find her friends cool or anything like that. And if I didn't, then I was reprimanded for it. And I can say she was a terrible person or whatever, but no, she was a victim and she was emotionally distraught. No matter how many times I like to look at it, no matter how many people that want to say, "Oh, dude, you made a horrible decision. You shouldn't have gone with her." It's like, she was probably the best decision out of all the girls that I ever kind of went with, because there were other people that were either emotionally distraught or never in the conversation whatsoever, understanding that they were always having a second opinion or a second dude, because they were not into me. So I wouldn't put that much into it, and then they would be like, "Why aren't you putting anything into it?" Because you're not being the person you need to be. You're not being the person you really want to be. By being with me, you're just... And that's not every woman that I've ever been with. It's not every person that I've ever wanted to be with either. And no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, realize you don't mean it until you do it. Until you can't take it back, you don't mean it. Until someone gets hurt by your hand, you don't mean it. And that's in every situation. And you have the choice to be able to make sure that doesn't ever happen. You have the reasoning to be able to understand that if you're hurt, then seek help, and don't just seek comfort or a passion or anything like that, because you'll regret it, and it'll come back to haunt you, because you'll start blaming every single person around you, and that kind of thinking can't be something that you want, you know. It can't be something that you need, you know. Realize that there are so many ways to go about being yourself and realizing the truth, or realizing your own truth, and that sometimes you just need to be alone, and you need to realize how messy your room is. Or you just need to realize how everything can just pile up at once and come at you at some awesome speed that you're not ready for. And in some cases, you'll never be ready for it. And no, that's not a lesson in life. It's just, that's how fast things move in the universe. That's how unbelievably fast and chaotic things can be in the universe, and that's the universe in itself telling you you're not enough. And you should have trained harder, you should have got better, you should have done something better. But realize we're all at that same point right now. And even if we have some sort of disability stopping us from doing something that we really want to do, or not stopping us from doing something that we really want to do, but the point is just realize that symbols mean nothing. All those symbols, all those things that people like to push on other people, or like to say in any certain way. No matter what people like to say, they mean nothing. All those crosses people like to put on everything, all those things that people like to do. The only thing that means something to me is the fact that I get to spend my life with my family while they're still here. And I'm probably not going with them, but I get to do things for them that I wouldn't have gotten to do. And if you don't have those people in your life, then find them. Find people in your life. And you'll start to realize that all those things you thought, all those people you were trying to go after, all those things you didn't realize were just something, a narrative that you needed to get through to someone. A narrative that you needed to understand and realize was the reason why you were having those thoughts. And there are so many different people suffering from that. I can see it in the world, and I can see it in the fact that people just don't know how to resist the thought of not blaming someone for everything that they've ever done wrong. That's the reason why people go to jail. They're not shitty people. They're fucked up in the head. They're fucked up in the head, and they need help. They're not terrible fucking people. They're not horrible people that deserve to die in a fire. They're people who have been fucking bruised and beaten, and sometimes, in some cases, almost put to the point and brink of death, and just pulled back because of someone's sycophantic fucking fantasy, and then somehow that person does something bad too, is because they blame the world for it. And they have to understand that. When you go through something terrible, or when you keep going through something terrible, you're not okay. You shouldn't just be okay. You should reach out and help, and reach out for help, and for mental health, and for realizing that you're better of a person if you seek peace, and seek oneness, and seek help from yourself and others, than if you go ahead and hurt someone that you think did you wrong. People that died that unjustly deserve justice, not another person to blame. Or else we'll all die from disease and everything, and there's no way for us to be able to survive. There will be no way for us to be able to survive if this keeps going. And the other side of the hemisphere will be a complete and utter ghost town if people don't start opening their borders. At least to trade. Of this world. It's the truth. And that's not just my message, I guess, but I constantly see a world where I'm walking up to the Algiers ferry, and I see a bomb literally to explode in the air, and it's an atomic bomb, and it takes up the entire sky. I'm knocked back and I try to get up and everything goes dark. I don't want that world. And I don't want those people to have to constantly seek asylum in other places. And my heart doesn't go out. My thoughts don't go out. And if you wish or think that somehow it's justified, then you're a terrible person. And you need to seek therapy. And forgiveness from yourself. Thank you, and you are your own one-person bomb squad. You can defuse situations that happen before they happen, and you can make sure the world is a better place just by being a better person. Have a good day, and it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes. Nice.